Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Christmas Patron Q&A stream. I've got a new member over on YouTube, River. Now, can you guys tell me, does the background of the stream look like it's choppy? Or is the audio choppy? Tell me if it is. If you're getting stutters or anything, tell me. If it's just video stutters, it won't. I'm transferring a huge amount of data. So basically, doing a lot of backup. Audio is not choppy. That's the important thing. That really is the important thing. Now I've got pizza here. We're in a bit of a sort of like chaos state. The two teenagers are heading over to England. Well, tomorrow, technically, they're getting up at like 3 in the morning. We're going to take them down to the station and then they're going to go on, get the plane, etc. We're going down the next day. But it means that everyone's packing and there's all sorts of chaos going on and they've just stopped for pizza. But obviously it's come at a bad time. So you might hear the occasional nom 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 nom. Like right there. Am I a pineapple on pizza person? No, I am not. Yeah, everything's chaos. I broke my laptop. Good and proper. Got the new battery. Got the new battery for the laptop. But while I was taking the old one out, and the old one looks bad. The old one looks like a balloon. Not good. While I was taking that one out, there were sparks from the wires. So I think some of the wires had some issues, but there was some short circuit, I think, on the wires. Put the new one in. When I try to turn the laptop on, the LED on the power button comes on for about 6 seconds. No fans boot up. Screen doesn't move. Then the power button light goes off. Yep, gonna have to see. I don't even know. How did you? Yeah, did I zap it? Possibly. I'm gonna have to see if there's a laptop repair somewhere in Oslo and get someone who actually knows what the hell they're doing. Either that, or I've got to take the SSD out and plug it into one of my other machines and extract all the data and you know what. All right. Thank you, Dictacats, for the €5 super chat. Have a very Merry Christmas, Gopher. Thank you for everything you've done this year. Brightened up my days no end. Well, I am glad. I am glad. Right, well, one more bite of pizza. Just one more. Oh, God, I'm hungry. For all I know, it's a small problem that a professional could fix dead easily. But knowing my luck, probably not. Take it with you to the UK. Loads of repair places. I'm not really going to the UK to go shopping for laptop repairs, am I? It's Christmas. All right. So, let's look at, I'm looking at the Discord channel for the patrons. FK, laying down the law there. As of now, this channel is in patron Q&A mode. Can I get this, like, no. I wanted to, can I make it bigger text? I can, can't I? I can. Look at that. But I gotta do that, and then I gotta do that. All right. There you go. So, can we make this smaller? Can we make this teeny tiny, itty bitty? Is it possible? Is it obvious that I have no idea how the hell to Discord? Yes. All right. Please only post questions for Gopher here. Mods will add Tick mark when Gopher starts answering each question. Please post each question separately and we will mark each one. Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, multicolored question marks. Dear boss man, sir, what is your upcoming schedule for the new year? FK sneaking in one right there. You see that? See that? What is my schedule for the new year? Right. Well, it's basically a continuation of the current schedule. It's going to be a continuation of Skyrim, Fallout London, and Stalker 2. The Skyrim one ends probably... I need to look at this. I've uploaded all of the videos. I've uploaded all of the videos for the Christmas period. So there will be no break. So that's hopefully good news for people. But on the Skyrim Let's Play, there are, let me double check this before I start telling porkies, 28 episodes. So we're getting 2 a week. It's a few more weeks, so that won't even make it to February. That won't even make it to February, early January. That will end. And then it will go to Fallout London and Stalker 2 for a little while. Fallout London, I have got what I'm calling Chapter 1. Basically, I think Fallout London is split into 3 parts. Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3. Around episode 89, I believe I finished Act 1 main quest and quite a lot of the side quests. So I thought to myself, well, that's where I pretty much left it. Those of you who've played Fallout London probably know the mission I'm talking about. And I decided, yeah, that's when I was going to start playing Skyrim. So you can see how long ago it was I played Fallout London. But I've got quite a lot of episodes. So what's probably going to happen is I will call that Chapter 1. And then I may even have a little break in the uploads there. And then start Chapter 2. And then at least everyone will realise there's a reason I've forgotten just about everything. So, there. And Stalker 2, I've no idea how long this Let's Play will go, to be honest, or whether I should split it into chapters. You know, it's possible I should. Oh, I think I've got pizza delivery. Give me. Can you look there? It's my son bringing in pizza for me. There you go. Another piece. This one's got meatballs and pepperoni. Good lad. Oh. Anyway, and that's the schedule. Now, what I will tell you is I know that Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is coming out the beginning of February. That will be going into the timetable. I just don't know when. The thing is, I think I should wait until there's been some patches, but more importantly, some mods. Doing a Let's Play without the option to be able to just save wherever I want to save, it's going to be a major headache. It will be a major headache. Playing with save stations completely alters how I play these games, and more importantly, how I can record them. So, you know, because save stations are evil. But I kind of would like something that gets rid of the head bobbing if it's as bad as in the first one, and it looks like it might be. But I may well play a little of the game in its vanilla state for myself as quickly as humanly possible, because I might want to make some videos about that. So that's what I'm thinking. I might try that with that game. Play it a little for myself, get used to it, figure some things out, give my opinions, and then once a few good mods are out and I can really just sink into it without worrying about things like the save system, so I could just focus on making an immersive Let's Play, I'll probably start again, and then I'll probably go hardcore mode. Assuming hardcore mode is a thing. Nej, det går great. Det har nok. Tusind tak. Bringing me more pizza, but I've got way more than I need. So yeah, that's the timetable. There you go. Yours is now answered. Right, where the hell? Here it is. That's it. Okay, great. Number 2, Gopher. Have you heard of the Oblivion remaster leaks and rumors? Like it may be coming out next year, or that 2 engines are being used to create Unreal Engine 5. I heard there might be some Bethesda remake. Is it Oblivion? Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me? It might come out next year, the year Skyblivion is supposed to be coming out. Are you kidding me? Gotta admit, that's a little annoying if true. I mean, really? But what are they doing? Is it basically are they basically going to just put the Unreal render engine on top of the existing game? Because I've seen games that do that, but that means the gameplay is all identical to the original Oblivion, which sucks balls. And honestly, I think I'd prefer Skyblivion at that point. So, yeah, I'm going to have mixed feelings on that. Somebody in the other chat said they hope it's Fallout 3. I think I'd prefer it to be Fallout 3, but isn't Capital Wasteland still a thing? We just don't know when it's going to be a thing. The Oblivion remaster was supposedly in development for 5 years. Do we have actual information on this? If it's been in development for 5 years, I would really hope it's more than just a render engine overlay. If it's just a render engine overlay, I'm not going to be impressed for 5 years. I mean, you could argue, well, you know, Skyblivion's been in progress for 13 years. Yeah, but they're doing a total conversion. It's a complete conversion. It's not just using the render part of it. They're redoing the whole thing. So I don't know. I've not heard anything. I did hear rumors of a remake, but I will also say I've been hearing rumors constantly about Fallout 3 being remade for approximately 10 years. So I'm going to need to see that. Woolen Threads. What new games do you think you'll be playing, live streaming, playthroughing in 2025? Currently, my plan is Kingdom Come Deliverance. I'm so looking forward to that. I've just watched the live action video of Hans and Henry, the actors who played them, just messing around. And honestly, I really could watch that as a TV series. I think there's going to be more episodes. It's bloody brilliant. It is bloody brilliant. And I really loved the energy between the two of them. I hope there's loads of that in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Because that was one of my favourite things in Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, was the way that Hans Capon just grew on you throughout the game, to the point where he was your best bud. You know what I'm saying? He was the man. Your partner in crime. So I loved that. I really did. So yeah, looking forward to that. Pretty sure I'm going to do a playthrough, unless it's a disaster in some way. Unless it's a disaster. Let's hope it's not a disaster. As for other things I'll be playing 2025, Skyblivion is the other one. As for anything else beyond that, I think it's difficult to say. I will be finishing Fallout London. I'm going to finish Fallout London. So that's 3 fairly big games right there. And I'm still going to be playing Stalker 2, so that's 4. So I would say promising anything else is just not even an option. It's just this. And I've still got Tale of Two Wastelands. A couple more chapters of that, I think. I've got a few DLCs to do. And I did intend to go through them. It's just too many things have popped up. So yeah, that's probably the new to 2025 games. Cindy's crazy. Hello, Mr. Gopher. I know you said you don't want to be a BG3 streamer, but would you consider streaming Baldur's Gate 3 with someone else in co-op? It's much fun. Well, me and Quadago have spoken about it as a thing. There are all sorts of problems with doing co-op multiplayer streams with Quaraco, though, because the time zone is evil for her, and it makes the playthroughs go on forever. And let's be honest, my playthroughs go on forever anyway. So I'm not completely sure that's a grand idea. I actually think it. I mean, I want to see what Borderlands 4 gets reviewed as. I think we should do something a little more focused or something less serious. I wish Payday 3 had been a good thing. Just that we could just play on and off whenever we felt like it, whenever the time zones were working for it. So, yeah. All right. I'm not seeing any ticks appearing on these. Can I add the ticks? I'm going to let the moderators do them. I'm up to Shadowlin. In hindsight, have you enjoyed your time as our Dark Lord? By the way, hope you and your family are doing well. I have loved my time doing this. I have. I really do. I've enjoyed streaming. I originally started doing that more as a hobby than anything else. I enjoy making the videos. I enjoy interacting with the community. So yeah, I absolutely love doing this. I mean, there are times when it can be stressful's the wrong word, tiring, emotionally draining. I think that's one of the things people underestimate about this sort of a job. Emotionally draining. But still the best job I've ever had. So, I probably put more hours per week in. No, I definitely put more hours per week into this than any job I've ever done. But still, love it. Absolutely. So, yes, I've been enjoying my time doing this. Woolen Threads, do you think you would live stream a new Baldur's Gate 3 in honor mode? Is that the kind of you die, you're dead, you're done, you're gone, bye-bye? Maybe, but honestly, I think I would like to live stream something else. Honestly, like, for example, if I'd not been live streaming Baldur's Gate 3, I think I would have maybe live streamed the Indiana Jones game. It's kind of cool. Puzzle game. I'd like to get back to Skyrim VR. There are a bunch of other VR games maybe I wouldn't mind live streaming, although there's a new Metro VR game. Could be an interesting one to actually do a Let's Play of, though. So, yeah, tough one. I would consider live streaming honor mode Baldur's Gate 3, but I'd say at the moment, once I've finished Baldur's Gate 3, I'll probably want to just do something else for a little while. Thank you. Lisa, hello Gopher. Do you think Starfield will ever get a modding scene like Fallout 4 and Skyrim with giant story and mechanical expansions, or do you think it's already missed its chance? Maybe. Here's the thing. The Fallout 4 modding scene is doing better than I thought it would. The Fallout 4 modding scene is still doing better than I thought it would, considering the game itself. Because I don't think Fallout 4 lends itself to modding quite as well as Bethesda Game Studios' previous games, things like Skyrim. And I mean, that still shows. Just look at the modding community for Skyrim. Look at the number of mods made, published, downloaded, etc. Skyrim is still just killing it. It's absolutely killing it. Fallout 4 is pretty strong, though. Fallout 4 is pretty strong. Stronger than I thought it was going to be. So that is good. Could Starfield ever get there? I don't know. I have to be honest. I'm over Starfield in a way that I wasn't over any of the other games. Fallout 4 included. Fallout 4 is this sort of game where I never really had the urge to replay that often. But every now and again, I suddenly go, you know what? It's been 3 years. I'll just do a quick blast through or something. Usually it's some project. Usually it's like, oh, we're going to have Fallout for Hope charity event. Oh, I'm going to need a new save for that. But honestly, sometimes I almost feel like that's a bit of an excuse. I'm just, well, let's do a bit of Fallout 4. It's kind of fun. Way, off you go. Same with Skyrim. I think that's half the reason I'm missing the Skyrim VR, and I really wanted to get back to Leonard. But Starfield, I can't imagine starting again. I just can't imagine starting again. And if I can't imagine starting again, I'm not totally sure the replayability is there. It's like I'm replaying NG+. I've done loads of NG+. But it's the same character. The idea of starting a whole new playthrough, radically different mods, just isn't appealing to me yet. Let's just say yet. Could it one day? Maybe. But at the moment, as much as I did enjoy Starfield, I'm sort of over it. Which is a bit of a shame, really. Okay, Woolen Threads. Second question. Do you think Obsidian will be given the opportunity to do Fallout New Vegas 2 now that ZeniMax and Obsidian are part of the Microsoft game stable? I think there's a possibility of it. I think it would be a bloody brilliant idea. Especially, and this is going to be a controversial statement, especially if Microsoft tell Bethesda to give their engine to them to basically to replicate what they did with Fallout 3 for Fallout 4. So they take the Fallout 4 engine, maybe with some improvements from the Starfield, and just made Fallout New Vegas 2. I would love to see that. And the reason I would like it on that engine is mods and modding. And also, honestly, Obsidian, they've got their strengths. But let's be honest, when you look at a game like The Outer Worlds, their world building kind of was crap. But more importantly, there wasn't a lot to do with the game once you've beaten it. You beat it a couple of times with different builds, so that you've got that kind of build replayability. And you could take different paths, which is true. But it just doesn't... The world just doesn't scream out, hey, come and mod me, come and add this, there's something about it. It's just too compartmentalized. So if they could get something like the Bethesda engine, as buggy as it might be, and create something like they did with Fallout New Vegas, even though Fallout New Vegas didn't have a very good world space, yeah, I would like to see that. And I think it's possibly something that, Microsoft might consider. Because does Todd's ego give Obsidian a chance? Someone said on the other thing. Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? Isn't it now more up to Microsoft? I mean, they probably don't want to push the luck too much with their developers, but at the same time, I mean, that would be a popular game, wouldn't it? Okay. Chasing the Echoes. Are you going to play Outer Worlds 2 once it comes out? Yes. Will I do a Let's Play of it? I don't know. The first one was not popular, and I understood why. I did understand why. And the second one does look very much like the first one, but with some new gadgets and bling. So, I don't know whether it'll be a Let's Play, but play it. I absolutely will play it. I did enjoy the first one, to be honest. I enjoyed it. Although I still have a lot of criticisms about it. But again, people love to dunk on Bethesda. But you compare the worlds of Outer Worlds, and then compare it to even Starfield. And Starfield isn't a good example, really, but you compare it to something like Skyrim. and it's, you know, there was absolutely nothing about the world spaces in Outer Worlds that made me give a damn. They didn't even feel like world spaces. They felt like maps from a game made in 1997 or something. You know what I'm saying? They just felt like that. So, loved the dialogue, loved the humor, the story, hated the chromatic aberration, loathed the chromatic aberration.
Welcome,
but,
minion.
You know, those world spaces. So, and the thing is what I have found on my channel is the games that tend to have the better reception and the more longevity are the ones where I can interact with the world more. Not the ones that showcase the game itself, but where I can interact with the world and sort of become part of it. Kingdom Come Deliverance, Red Dead Redemption 2. Those are series that went on for like 200 episodes almost and kept a fairly hardcore following all the way through. I don't think it was the story. I think it was the fact that there's just something about those worlds that drags me in and I just get so absorbed. At least that's how it feels to me. So, let's have a look. Curious what pizza you like. I know it's not game or stream related, but you did mention it. From Marion and World, would you consider playing Enderall again? Also, would you do it as a playthrough? Okay, what pizza do I like? Anything that doesn't have pineapple. No, I like pepperoni pizza generally. I quite enjoy things like calzone. There's one of my favorite pizzas from the local place is Parmesan and ricotta. Or ricotta, is it? It's a green vegetable. Excuse me, Namit. You made me eat. Sorry. This is very rude. Havoc, thank you for the remember 9 months. Erion. Thank you for the donation, $5. Go get yourself a coffee. I should probably do that. Actually, I probably shouldn't do that. I want to sleep tonight. Grab myself a decaf. Dana Tucker, thank you for the remember 11 months. So, would I consider playing Enderall again? It's had a DLC, hasn't it? Yes, I would. Would I do it as a playthrough? If I had time, yes. I'd have to go for a very different character. I think I'd probably have to play a more heroic character. Because I played a more evil character last time. Would I? Yeah, maybe. But again, I'd need time and space in the calendar, so that's just not something I've got at the moment. I mean, I'm assuming I'm going to keep playing Stalker, even though that's not a popular playthrough either. Which makes sense considering the state the game released in. Snake Doctor, we currently have 3 games on the channel, which will be down to 2 in future, and Fallout London are going to go seemingly long into 2025, so what are your plans for Kingdom Come Deliverance, given you've said in the past it will be a series on your channel? Sort of answered this already, I guess. I will be playing it. I've got a feeling this will be one of those day one, boot up, start the game, start seeing what's different, do some playthrough, but don't record it as a let's play. That's what I'm thinking. Get an idea of what I will need, mod-wise, to really enjoy it as a let's play. And maybe get far enough into it that I understand some of the new mechanics, etc. So I can make some videos about it. So I at the moment, my thought process on this is, and I think I should do this more now with games. I think I should try to cover them. Like play them quickly, play for a week and just blitz through, say, 20, 30 hours of playing, and then be able to have solid opinions on them, maybe cover them a little bit. And then if I think it's a good let's play, then start again and do a let's play. So it wouldn't strictly be a blind playthrough at that point. But honestly, I think that's probably a sensible idea. I mean, if I'd done that for Stalker 2, would I have started a let's play? I don't think I would. I think I would have started Stalker 2 and then just said, you know what, guys, it's in a bit of a rough state. I'm going to wait for a while. But then once I've started a playthrough, I feel morally obliged to finish it for you guys. Tiger Eyes, thank you for the $10 super chat. I've been working, so this may have covered. Have we talked about Witcher 4 and the remaking of Witcher? No, we've not. I will get to that. I want to keep going through the Patron things right now. I'll get to that in a minute, because I'm pretty sure someone else is going to have asked that in the Patron chat as well. What age did you teach when you were a maths teacher? Ages 9 to 18. What made you decide to leave that job? I got a Norwegian girl pregnant and had to leave the country. There you go. That was the short and brutally honest answer, right? And, it's very hard to teach in a country when you don't speak the language particularly well. Someone said, my style doesn't really seem to fit with a first time play. It seems to depend on the game, though. Some people love watching my first time plays. But yeah, I don't know. Hard to know for sure. So, would you start doing straight podcasts again? Sans live streams? Yeah, maybe. I mean, honestly, I've started doing those more recently. Like on a Thursday, I'll try and do a quick half-hour podcast. But I'm wondering whether I should just do hour-long podcasts one night. But I feel like to do podcasts, you've got to have a theme. You got to have something going on. I mean, what would it be? Gopher reacts to insert stupid thing here podcast. So, yes, definitely. What did you ask of Ulanison this year? The next Elder Scrolls being on time and good, or something responsible like End of World Hunger. Yeah. What did I ask for Santa this year? To be honest, not a lot. Got all the family like skis and snowboard gear, but I've already got my stuff, so I'm hoping some of them have remembered and bought me socks again. You know you're old when you get to that stage. I keep putting holes in my socks. The Joe Gopher experience. Interview mod authors, more in ago. Like one round chase mod authors. Get on my podcast and say something interesting. Oh, this pizza's cold. Gopher Rants podcast. Do you have any recommendations? Oh no, I didn't really answer that question, did I? What? The next Elder Scrolls being on time or good? What do you mean by on time? We haven't actually got a release date for the Elder Scrolls, the next Elder Scrolls, and I would argue that 2024 is already way beyond schedule for the next Elder Scrolls game. I mean, we're talking 11 years ago. That was when Skyrim was. Skyrim was 11 years... Sorry, 13 years ago. It's 2011. 13 years ago. The chance of the next Elder Scrolls being on time, that's gone. Yeah, but yes, I'm hoping it's good. Although, I think my definition of good will differ to a lot of people nowadays. I'm looking for something on par with Skyrim. Polished. Bit better, maybe. Better lighting. Better performance. But honestly, with what I saw from Starfield, I honestly have some reasonable hope about the Elder Scrolls. Because I liked the dialogue system, and indeed the dialogue in Starfield as a general rule. I think it was a step up on Skyrim. And I definitely much preferred it to Fallout 4. I could not stand the Fallout 4 dialogue system. I hated it. Loathed and detested it. So they moved in the right direction there. So, bring over that. Bring over some of the other improvements in Starfield that they did. But overall, I'm just looking for more Skyrim. I'm looking for that kind of experience. A big open world, tons of factions, loads of side quests, tons of interesting places. I mean, that's what I want. Really, more than anything, what they need to do with the next Elder Scrolls is make an interesting world space. Honestly, I know people will say, no, they need a new engine. No, it needs to be better than this. And no, it needs that. I am calling it now. If the Elder Scrolls VI has a world space that makes you want to explore, it will get away with having an engine that looks a little dated. It will get away with some janky glitches. It will get away with a lot of things just because people are enjoying exploring the world. If I was Todd Howard, that's the thing I would tattoo on my forehead so everyone saw it every time they spoke to me. Yeah, make the world interesting. Because that's what Skyrim had. It's what Skyrim had. It's what Morrowind had. It's what Oblivion had. Fallout 3 had. Make it interesting. People will put up with a lot. I mean, to me, the Indiana Jones game that's just released sort of highlights the importance of getting one critical thing right. Because when I look at Indiana Jones, it's getting rave reviews. Game of the year, best this, brilliant, absolutely superb. But I look at it clinically and I go, okay, the combat is adequate. The climbing, the parkour element is adequate. You know what I'm saying? The puzzles, they're vaguely interesting and not too difficult. They do the job. The world spaces they've made, they're okay. Some of them are nice. Some of them are interesting. Some of them are great. Some of them are not so great. But more importantly, they do the job. And if I was to actually describe Indiana Jones, I'd say more or less 99% of that game is it gets the job done. The story is pretty good. It's very, very Indiana Jones. The writing seems really good. It's good, does the job, and it does it well. But what Indiana Jones and the Great Circle does is it captures the essence, the vibe of Raiders of the Lost Ark. It captures the feeling of being Indiana Jones. It's got the atmosphere. The music is spot on. The voice actor did an incredible job. And I genuinely feel like I am playing an interactive version of one of the movies. And that's what it had to do. And it does that brilliantly. That it does superbly. All the rest of it, all the gameplay mechanics, they just don't screw it up. They do enough to hold the game together without really relying on it. I mean, if this was a puzzle game and that was the only thing I was going to judge this game by, the puzzles, I'd be like, this was really underwhelming. But it's not. It's a game that requires vibe, a feeling, an atmosphere. The next Elder Scrolls game needs to get that one thing that people love from their games. That interesting place to explore. That desire to just wander and poke stuff. And then restart the game with a whole new character that has completely different skills and go and poke things in a different manner. That's what they need. Gone off on a bit of a rant on that one, haven't I? Lisa, do you have any recommendations for games that you played for your own enjoyment and didn't stream record? Or I guess, do you only play games for the channel and not outside that? I'm going to be absolutely honest with you. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is the only game I've played for my own enjoyment in a long time. I was going to play Horizon Zero Dawn, and then I ended up streaming the entire thing. And for those of you who don't know, I do have an alternate channel, Gopher's Vids Live. I even uploaded edited versions of the videos on demand of Horizon Zero Dawn on that channel. And I love that game. But again, I ended up streaming recording. Indiana Jones. I'm loving that game. If you've got Game Pass, which I'm playing it on Game Pass, just play it. Play it on Game Pass. It's a blast. If you're a completionist, there's tons of little side quests, tons of things to collect, etc. If you don't care about that, you don't care about achievements, and you just want to play it for the Indiana Jones vibe, it's just you'll probably speed through it 25 hours or something if you don't care about completionist stuff. Maybe a little less, I don't know. But absolutely brilliant. It's tons of fun. Play God of War for yourself. I've got God of War installed, yeah. Have you looked into the games Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon? No. Is it any good? Or The Wayward Realms? Yes. I interviewed the lead dev on this channel, live stream, The Wayward Realms. It's one of the ones I'm looking forward to. It's going to be an interesting game. I don't know how it's going to get received, especially with, it doesn't look like it's going to have a lot of voice acting. So that's very, very, it's going to be very niche, I think. But I'm looking forward to that. Gopher, any plans to live stream Subnautica? It's a great game, somewhat of a terror vibe, and the sequel's announced to come out in a few years. It's supposed to have co-op. I did co-op with Che for one episode, but the mod wasn't working well. I'm sorry, I don't have any plans to live stream that or even play it at the moment. I don't actually know what I want to live stream next. I'm actually at a bit of a loss, but I don't think I have to worry about it for a while because although I'm in Act 3 of Baldur's Gate, I get the feeling it's going to be a while. So I don't know. FK, dear Bossman Dark Lord Sir, buttering me up for something. I'm proudly wearing my Jack Shotgun t-shirt tonight. Got any cool new shirt ideas coming up for when I'm not utterly skint? Probably. Oddly enough, I had an idea in the middle of a Stalker episode. I'm not going to ruin it for people. I quite literally say it in the video, although I think it at least sounds vaguely in character and appropriate to the world, because Stalker is set in you know, our world, after all. But yeah. So maybe. Havoc 2. Gopher, Merry Christmas, Dark Lord. Found you years ago when I was looking for a New Vegas Let's Play. You were looking for a New Vegas Let's Play. So I thought you were going to say when looking for New Vegas modding advice, because that's actually how I got started. Technically, I got started by doing Fallout 3 mod showcase of my own mods, but it didn't really take off. It was my modding New Vegas series. Been watching all your new playthroughs since then and working on the back catalogue now. Made it to Witcher 3 now. My question is, how much do I need to donate to get you to revisit New Vegas? Are there plans to play during the course of TTW? Oh, good question. I don't think I will be visiting New Vegas with Joshua, because as far as I know, when you do that, it resets the character. And honestly, that's just, you know, I mean, what am I going to do? Go through, get all the perks again, get all the skills again. I don't like that idea. I will be honest. It just feels a bit, well, I've already done this. I'm just doing it in a different place. So if I was going to revisit New Vegas, I think it would just be a new character. But isn't there basically a remake mod of New Vegas for Fallout 4 as well? I'm sort of thinking by the time I've got through Sky Oblivion and Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, maybe there'll be news about that. It doesn't reset your character. That's a mod, you believe. Oh, is it? Oh. There's an option to not reset the character. Ooh. Would I do New Vegas with Joshua then? I'd think about it. I'd have to make it different enough to jack, though. So I wouldn't be installing all of some guy's mods, I don't think. I've done the bounty hunter thing, and I think it suited jack to a T. So doing it again would seem pointless. But maybe I'd do New Vegas. Maybe, yeah. Okay. The character reset is an unrelated mod on Nexus. Oh, you know what then? Maybe. Big maybe. Maybe I'd do that instead of doing Into the Pit. But you will potentially be overpowered from Goodsprings, though, through Nipton until you get to Vegas. Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't really mind that too much. At that point, it'd be just to experience it, you know. Do you have any plans on going back to mod creation? When you started TTW, it seemed like a possibility. I did update a lot of my mods, didn't I? I don't know what mod I would want to do. That's the thing. There needs to be something I have a passion for. If I was going to go back into mod creation, I think I'd have to completely relearn a bunch of stuff and do different types of mods. You know, do a quest mod, or I don't know, just make a shopkeeper mod. You know, I don't know, something like that. Something that I've not done before. I think that's one of the things that's why if you look at my mod collection, it's so damned varied. I could go back and actually learn how to 3D model correctly. But you know, the thing is there are so many people doing such a good job of it at the moment. I feel like I'd be just making substandard versions of whatever else was out there. There are some things I might want to do. I think there's a little side of me would like to bring my thermal night vision mod over to Fallout 4. Is there a thermal vision mod for Fallout 4? And if so, how good is it? So, you know, there are sometimes I get these urges. So, it's a possibility, yes. Riffing off Subnautica, would you consider playing Astrometica? I don't know what that is. If no to SN, don't bother answering this because it'll probably be no to. Is it a space version of Subnautica? These are games I might play sometime. It's more a matter of will I get time to play them, and more importantly, will I get time to let's play them? Will you be stepping into Horizon Forbidden West? Excited to see you continue Aloy's story. Same answer. I really did want to play this, but now, because I streamed the first one, I feel morally obliged to do the same with the second one, or at least record it. And honestly, again, we're in the timetable there. I think the thing is I don't feel like this game was a brilliant option for Let's Play. Not really. It was a great story, an amazing game, but it is, I don't know, I feel like I do better when I'm playing the games that allow me quite a bit of artistic license, allow me to play off things going on a bit more. Horizon Forbidden West, a little bit less so. You know, it's always harder to do it with third-person games anyway. Always a lot harder. But also, it's outside of the storied cutscenes, the game is very, 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 very gamey. So, like, for example, Red Dead Redemption 2, when you step outside of the scripted cutscenes and scripted missions, it was this vast open world that was so immersive, I could sink into it and just take simple pleasure out of doing some fishing and making some coffee and then, you know, brushing the horse down. Forbidden, you know, the Horizon games don't have that. They don't have that extra little thing that lets me sink into it as me. And say what you like about Skyrim or, other Bethesda games, I do feel like I can sink into them more. Let's have a look. Do you think an alternative start mod for Starfield so you don't have to start NG Plus as the miner would help freshen it up? No. No, you don't actually start the NG Plus as the miner anyway. You skip that entire stage now. Oh, that was a spoiler. Sorry, that's really spoilery. Sort of. I mean, I'm spoiling the start of NG Plus. I'm not going to say anything more about that. But the problem with Starfield is not the fact that you start as the miner, any more than the problem with Skyrim would have been you start as a prisoner. These alternate start mods are for a lot of people, but I've never felt the need for them. I've always been able to play Skyrim and start off in Riften and then completely mold the story to my liking. The problem for me with Starfield is I don't get any urge to start again. And a lot of the problem is I don't have the urge to go back and wander around Starfield. So in Skyrim, what gets me back is after a while, I just want to wander around Solitude or travel from Whiterun to River. Oh, what's it called? To start it, Riverdale, not Riverdale, River. The starting bloody village, Riverwood, right? Just wandering around places like that. Even when I was playing Chapter 11 as Leonard, there was a moment I rode back into Riverwood and just was like, oh, wow. Nostalgia pang. I don't have any feelings towards Starfield that would elicit that kind of response, I'm afraid. There's nothing about it. There's absolutely nothing about it that is, has a memorable moment of discovery. Not really. The quests had memorable moments, and I think with Skyrim, it's that sudden urge to go back to Skyrim. The land, not the game. The land. And Starfield just doesn't have that. But it also doesn't have I don't have a desire to play another character in Starfield because honestly, the idea of starting a new character it hurts because the character build system is so slow. It takes so long to get certain skills you really want. I mean, I know they've changed the difficulty now, so you can have easy space flight fights versus difficult land, first-person fights. So you don't need as many points invested in piloting now. But I still feel like I would want... There's a whole bunch of skills I would just want by default because the idea of not having them gives me the screaming heebie-jeebies. And you could argue the same is true of a lot of their games, but it doesn't quite work that way. Look at Skyrim. You always end up using lockpicking, lockpicking tons and tons, no matter what character you're playing. But you don't really have to spend any time investing in it. You can just sort of do it. You know what I mean? And it's there's just something about Starfield where there's a bunch of skills. I got, no, I'm going to want that. And oh my God, I'm going to want that. And like, for example, the skill that lets you have more than 3 people on your ship. You need to spend 16 levels worth of perks just to get that. And it's 16 levels just to get that. It does my head in, I'm afraid. Did you play Dragon Dogma 2? No, I haven't played number 1. I've got it installed on my PC right now, Dragon's Dogma 1, and I really did intend to play it when I got a spare moment. I feel like it would be up your alley, even if it's different from what you usually play. I love the feel of the world in it. I'm sure I would love it. I think people don't realize I've actually got quite a wide taste for games. A lot of different games I like to play. I slightly more typecast on the ones I stream and let's play because it is a different beast. It's very different playing a game than it is let's playing it. So I've not played it, no. But it's on my list. Gopher, any things from the Game Awards that caught your eye? Yeah, the fact that I missed the Game Awards. Yeah. Okay. Now, what I did notice from the Game Awards were a bunch of trailers. So that's where we got announced The Outer Worlds 2. So that was good. I love Obsidian's trailers. I've got to admit, they've got trailers down to a fine art. You know, from the company that brought you, what was it, number 2? I can't remember which. They've got a bunch of games where they've specifically done the sequel. And then they worked their way up to, and the company that brought you Fallout 3, 2, Fallout New Vegas. They leaned into this funny truth that they've made a lot of sequels. I mean, Fallout New Vegas is not really a sequel to Fallout 3, but you know what I mean. So I loved the trailer. The other trailer that got my attention was, of course, Witcher 4. Confirmed we get to play Ciri. And boy, did it look dark. I did like it, but oh my God, it looked dark. However, there was no mention of a release date, and I'm not getting excited about it. I am not getting excited about it because, for all we know, it could be 7 years away. I don't think so. I think it's going to be closer than, well, but they're working on that, and they're working on Cyberpunk too, aren't they? 2 different studios. And they're reworking Witcher 1. If they redo The Witcher 1, I will feel like I have to do a Let's Play of that. I just don't know when. Yeah, you'd say about 3 years. Maybe. Okay. Will you be playing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2? Yes. Not necessarily YouTube, just playing for fun. Probably YouTubed. When's it coming out? Have we got a release date for that? I kind of hope not soon, because that's going to be a problem. But yeah, I've heard you can't play Nosferatu though, so I'm afraid we won't be seeing the return of Hank. It's a shame. It's a shame it can't be a continuation of that story. And I can't take Hank. That would be awesome. $2025 release. Oh, gee, I don't have time. Tiger Eyes, thank you for the $5 super chat. I bet Witcher 4 will be released before the next Skyrim, lol. Dude, I'm expecting to get great grandkids before the next Skyrim. I love how we're calling it the next Skyrim rather than the next Elder Scrolls. Skyrim 2. Yeah, no, I mean, like, they're still, as far as I know, they're still making DLC for Starfield, right? Which means they're not 100% on Elder Scrolls, although I think they've probably got more people now. But, you know, I'm not holding my breath. I've already said 2030. That's what I've said, 2030 for Skyrim 2. Okay. Hi, Gopher. Finally catching up with the Leonard playthrough. Just started chapter 4. Probably my favorite chapter. Question, request. I don't have the Creation Club option in my start menu. How Can you do a how to get this and or reach out to King Gath and ask if his team can make the Bard's College available for download? You don't have the Creation Club option in your start menu? Are you playing Skyrim Special Edition or Anniversary Edition? Because... Or have you got a mod that removes the Creation Club from your start menu? I'd check that. If you've ever installed them, because there were some mods that remove things like that. I would like to play it before I get to your playthrough. Oh, of the Bard's College. Yeah, no, you should have the Creation Club option in your start menu if you've got Special Edition up to date. As far as I know. As far as I know. I'll have to think about that. Somebody over on YouTube chat said, 2030, crying emoji. They released one of the most culturally powerful games of all time, and its successor might not come out till people born after it are 19. What a failure in management. I wouldn't say it was a failure in management, but it's just... It's still pretty damned incredible. It is. It's really incredible that it's 2 decades between games when that game is Skyrim. That's incredible. I know they wanted to do the Fallout and Elder Scrolls, but adding a whole new IP and then doing a multiplayer. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think Fallout 76 really delayed things much. People tend to assume it delayed things by years. I bet it didn't delay it more than a few months. Anything. I think this is just they've spent so much time on Starfield. So, yeah. All right. Well, anyway, what was I looking at? Have you looked into Atomfall? It's like Stalker British style. I've not looked into it. I've seen a trailer and I absolutely want to try that. I don't know what the game's going to be like, though, so it's difficult to say whether I should let's play that or whether I should stream it. That could be one of those ones where I just stream, because then I could just chit-chat about how very British everything is. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what sort of game it is. I couldn't really get a handle on it totally. Do you know what I mean? Is it going to be a single-player open world... Yeah, Stalker, Fallout-y type game? Or is it going to be more of a survival game? Snake Doctor. Eventually, probably 2035 to 2040, we may be getting Red Dead Redemption 3. Knowing how much you loved Red Dead Redemption 2, do you think the next game would be something for the channel? Yeah, assuming I'm still doing this in 2035, which is 11 years away. And I will be technically retirement age. Oh, well, not quite, but almost. Probably. Very probably. I did love Red Dead Redemption 2. Rebel Scum! Thank you for the $10 super chat. Loved your playthrough with Hank. Happy holidays to you and yours. I loved the Hank playthrough. I get the feeling I should do more playthroughs with silly characters. I like serious characters sometimes. Leonard was sort semi-silly, but also serious. When I do blind playthroughs, I tend to do serious playthroughs. So my blind playthroughs are really serious. I'm usually playing as a version of myself. But like when I do playthroughs of a game I've played a few times and I can just go completely nuts, I can really have a ton of fun. And Hank was a ton of fun. The least Nosferatu ever. If there's anyone out there who's not seen my Vampire Masquerades playthrough with the Nosferatu, that's one of the ones I would recommend. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm not watching this because it's yet another obfuscate stealth playthrough. No, it wasn't. Hank did not invest any experience into obfuscate or stealth. Nor did he... I mean, you know, he did the minimum amount of stealth not to break the masquerade, but, that was about it. Okay, let's have a look. Eventually, no, we've already done that once. Another Snake Doctor. A lot of YouTube channels have a system where channel members get early access to videos a day or two in advance, and as a way of thanking them for membership. Is this something you would think is feasible on your channel, or would it end up being more work for you? It's not really any more work. It is not more work. I do worry about doing that, though. I feel a bit... The only way I would consider that would be... Like, for example, I've just uploaded all of the videos for Christmas. And I'm going to have them drop on a certain date. Yeah, so there's one every day. I might, if the members thought they would like it, I might consider the idea that what I can actually do is when I upload videos, I just say, right, members can see this immediately, and then I'll schedule the release for the rest of the public. And there are reasons why I should keep to a schedule, though. A schedule is really important, because if you release too many videos, a lot of your normal subscribers will just get spammed by things, and then not watch them, and then they won't get recommended again. So it's best to release reasonably regularly. But members, of course, are generally the sort of people who probably check their subscription feed and perhaps even download your videos or whatever. They're very determined. So them getting all of them at once might not be the crazy idea. So I'll give that some thought, actually. Release videos to members basically the second they've processed. And then sometimes that'll mean members will get videos a day or two early, yeah. I'll give it a thought. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to start feeling like I'm paywalling. That's, yeah. Gopher, have you ever tried the Mad Max game? No, I haven't. And it definitely did look like one that might be good for me. Like, it's the sort of game I might enjoy. So, yeah. But it's, again, time. To give you an idea, the first game I've played for myself in a long, long time was Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Before that, I honestly don't know. Honestly, I do not know. I do not know. I'm trying to think what was the last me game. Rain! Thank you very much. $50 super chat. Thank you for, well, everything. Well, thank you as well. Thank you for the support. So yeah, I'm trying. Someone might remind me what the last me game was. I don't know. Have you considered to approach the Skyblivion team to get your hands on a game a bit in advance and get the episodes flowing in from the day one? Have you thought of a character? Oh, I've thought of a character. I know exactly what character I'm playing. Would I approach the Skyblivion team to try and get my hands on the game a bit in advance? Like, what, drop an occasional hint? I low-key tried to get an early copy of Fallout London. And I even said to them, it's not because I'm going to release any footage or anything. I just want to get, like, some promotional material up in advance and stuff. And I got a polite no. Very polite, but, you know. So, and I was technically part of that process, so, you know, Skyblivion, not so much. So I think the Skyblivion people are going to be going, yeah, we'll get back to you on that. But, believe it or not, the main reason I wanted Fallout London in advance, and the main reason I'd love to get my hands on Skyblivion in advance, is so that I can install it 5 or 6 times in lots of different ways, figure out all the ins and outs, and get a guide to installing it made for day one. And make sure my mods work for Skyblivion. Because that's one of the things I really would have liked to have had. All of my mods working for Folon day one before people started playing. Partly because, to be honest, once Fallout London came out, I wanted to just play it. And I sort of couldn't. When it first came out, I played it far enough that I was outside, and then I stopped and started making sure that my mods were working. So, you know, Or at least the mods I felt needed to work for it. So for Sky Oblivion, I would like to get my hands on just things like Immersive HUD, Predator Vision, stuff like that. I'd like to do it, but I'm always a bit wary of just going in there and trying to, hello, I'm a YouTuber. Can I have special access? I don't really, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I sort of dropped a few hints with the Fallout London devs, mostly because I was a little bit involved with the voice acting. And I thought maybe I'd get away with it. And I got away with it in that, like, they didn't do anything. Okay. Have you ever played Gothic? Would you ever consider playing the remake? I've never played it. I do own one or two of them, I think, on Steam. Is Gothic the one where they did a trailer a while ago and it had a giant? I seem to remember something. Was that? I don't remember. Again, on my list of things I'd love to play, but probably won't end up playing just cause. Oh, that was Fable. Yeah, Fable's on the same list. It is a very long list. What are your favorite old school games? I'm talking like mid-90s to 2000s. Ooh. Did you ever play Final Fantasy? No. KOTOR. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, KOTOR. One of my favorite games from that era. What else from the 90s to the 2000s? Deus Ex, I believe, came out. I'm trying to remember when Half-Life came out. I think it came out after that. Didn't Half-Life come out more like 2000 or something? 2001? 90s and 2000s. I mean, if we go to early 90s, it'll be like Doom, the original Doom. Right? I can't remember when Castle Wolfenstein came out. I think that was 89 or something. Or was that 90s? If so, that's one of my favorite. What else from the 90s to the 2000s? Oh, right. Ultimate Underworld. One of my favorite games from that era. Loved that game. Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. Monkey Island. The Day of the Tentacle. Civilization. Various ones. Warcraft. Dune 2. Not Dune 1. Dune 2. Loved that game. Trying to think of other ones. There's a few from that era that I absolutely adored. So yeah, Quake. That was late 90s, wasn't it? Mid to late 90s, Quake 2. I was a big fan of Catch the Flag. So yeah, quite a few really. You probably name a bunch. Oh god, Duke Nukem 3D. I used to play the original Duke Nukem games, actually. What are your thoughts on Exodus being developed by former Mass Effect devs? What's Exodus? I'm afraid those are my thoughts. I'm not one of these people that follows devs, etc. I found that, like, I mean, if you get the writer of something that was absolutely brilliant and they move to a new studio, there's no real guarantee that that will still be brilliant. I think, there are times when people just have a one-hit wonder. They just hit it in the right moment. So as a general rule, I try not to follow devs specifically. I barely even follow studios, if I'm being utterly honest. You know, I mean, a lot of people follow Obsidian, for example. Me, I'm like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. The only reason I follow Bethesda is because I follow Fallout and Elder Scrolls. So, like, I follow Mass Effect, and that's BioWare. But if Mass Effect moved to some other developer, even if none of the original developers were involved, I'd still follow it. Whether I would like it is a whole new thing, but I'd still follow it. So I'm more a games follower. Tiger Eyes, thank you for the $20 super chat. Thanks for all you do. Wishing you and yours a wonderful holiday. Well, you too. Merry Christmas. Okay. Still don't know what Exodus is. Probably a new game. For a stream game, you could do Red Dead Redemption 1. It takes place after 2. I actually know that. I even vaguely know what the story is. Stream game for Red Dead Redemption 1? Maybe. That might be about the only way I could squeeze it in, actually. But there'd be a lot of people who watch the Red Dead Redemption 2 series who'd riot because I streamed it. But it might be the only way I'd actually get to cover it on my channel. Honestly. Because let's face it, Let's Plays, they're just... everything's just too full at the moment. Someone asked me if I played the Bioshock games. Yes, I did. Those were not 90s, though. Light No Fire is an upcoming fantasy RPG from the No Man's Sky team, Hello Games. Would you consider playing it? Again, I will consider playing more or less anything. Are the No Man's Sky team back in everyone's good graces now? It's a fantasy RPG. Open world. What? Anything else? Is there any reason I should keep my eyes on it? Snake Doctor, last time we saw you and Che playing was Sons of the Forest. I know both your schedules are insane at the moment, but are there any plans for a 2025 link up with Che again? We should do something. Just me, I've been streaming later and later, and he's been busy as hell. So it got really difficult. I mean, especially we were always streaming at the start of the week, and as you've probably noticed, I don't stream at the start of the week anymore. I was streaming too many times as well. But yeah, we should definitely do something. Have like I don't know, revisit something. Definitely. But at the moment, it's just time. Riz, thank you for the £50 super chat. Thanks for your hard work, Gopher. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. Lisa, how do you make sure you don't burn out on the games you're recording, or do you sometimes find that happens? Okay, burnout on the games I'm recording? I don't usually burn out on the games I'm recording. I might get to a stage where I'm thinking, you know what, this is not working for the viewers. And then I get a little despondent, maybe, and I think, maybe I shouldn't have done this. The Cyberpunk game and Phantom Liberty, for example. But I thoroughly enjoyed playing that game. I mean, God, I loved my second playthrough, my second Let's Play of Cyberpunk, where I played Female V. And the subsequent Phantom Liberty playthrough, I adored them, but they were not popular. So I wouldn't say burnout's the wrong word then in that case. Do I actually get burnt out on the games? I will say that after a while, once I got to chapter 10 of Leonard, I was happy to stop playing Skyrim for a while because I'd done 10 chapters of Skyrim. Same is probably true of Fallout New Vegas. You just get to a point where you're like, yeah, no, I'm done for a while. I need a while. But I can still return every now and again to those games. So, yeah, I mean, as a general rule, I don't burn out on the games because I play the games I want. There is a possibility that playing the games I want is not the best way to do YouTube, though. Lots of people are like, no, you should have played Baldur's Gate minute 1 as soon as it played. I should have dropped everything. Of course, the problem there is if you start dropping series the instant the next craze comes out, no one's going to rely on you to finish a series because, of course, something new will come out. You know, I mean, I could have done Baldur's Gate until the next thing came out, and then people who love Baldur's Gate would have not been happy. So it's, for me, because I generally play games I just want to play, I don't think the burnout's as big a problem. Gopher, did you hear there is a plan for Alien Isolation sequel? No, I did not hear that. Is it going to have save stations? Yes, still hate them. Still hate them. Milo Wadlin, thank you for the $50 super chat. I'm 72, might not live to see the next Elder Scrolls. Don't think like that, Milo. Don't think like that, Milo. Just, I'm written in 2030. Keep in shape. Keep going. Gotta be there for it. Oh, it's terrible, isn't it? 19 bloody years. And that's if I'm right. For all I know, I'm being optimistic. Most people think I'm being pessimistic. I've heard people say 2026. Mind you, I've not heard anyone say 2026 for a couple of years now. I wonder if now that we're going into 2025, the people who are saying 2026 are beginning to doubt that. I don't know. But, you know, you never know with Bethesda. Bethesda do tend to do these things on the quiet. And for all we know, they've expanded the team and they've had people working on Elder Scrolls VI since, 2020. And so 2026 is going to be happening. I'm just saying, hang in there. Hang in there. 7 years ago, you did a Mass Effect Andromeda first impression video. A few years ago, you did a playthrough of Mass Effect 1 to 3. Would you consider Mass Effect Andromeda again, or will you focus solely on the eventual ME5? Well, I wasn't even sure I would focus on ME5. Again, I'm still not convinced the Mass Effect series were a good mix for my channel. They're games that tell you a story. And outside of that, they don't give you a lot other than just gameplay. So going back to the whole Red Dead Redemption 2 thing, Red Dead Redemption 2 tells a story and then opens up the world and lets you go hog wild in it. Mass Effect tells a story and then moves you on to the next bit of story it wants to tell you. And it intersperses it with some combat. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those games that I'm not convinced is a great mix, but I do love Mass Effect, so I will definitely play Mass Effect 5. Mass Effect Andromeda got kind of hammered, didn't it? I know I did a first impressions, and I remember I got a good vibe from it and everything, but I felt like the tutorial was a bit rushed, and I was weirded out by everyone's faces. And apparently I was not alone in that. Everyone else complained about the faces as well. I might play it for myself. I don't know whether I'd put it on the channel anytime soon. Again, too many other things. Gopher, were you at the Kingdom Come 2 event in Cuttenberg by any chance? No, I'm afraid I was not. Kind of wish I had. Do you have any pizza left? How cold is it by now? I got like a little piece of pizza and it is bloody cold right now. I think it's fair to say that CDPR have somewhat, if not completely, redeemed themselves. Oh, yes, of course they have. With all the content and updates they released for Cyberpunk 2077, off the back of that, do you have high hopes for Witcher 4? Are you cautiously optimistic? I have high hopes for it. But to be honest with you, I never had the same negative feel about Cyberpunk 2077 that other people did. I had a whole long list of problems with it, and I made a video covering them, and I am glad that they probably fixed about 70% of the things that I complained about. But even in its release state, Cyberpunk was one of the best games I'd ever played. I absolutely adored it. Now, it almost certainly is the best game I've ever played. It is just so bloody good. But this is not to say it's my favorite game of all time, by the way. There's always a difference between favorite game of all time and best game. It was just when I look at Cyberpunk, the story was great, the atmosphere was phenomenal, the way they handled first-person dialogue was absolutely brilliant. But now with the changes they made in 2.0, the gameplay is absolutely phenomenal. It is utterly phenomenal. And I miss that game constantly. Absolutely adore it. So, do I have high hopes for Witcher 4? Yeah, absolutely. I recently played Witcher 3 again, so I could compare it to, I suppose that's a me game, wasn't it? I didn't feel like a me game, though, because I was doing it for testing purposes. It was, actually, I did it just before Cyberpunk 2.0. Because I wanted to dispel the nostalgia. Because, you look back on The Witcher 3 and go, oh, it was the greatest game ever made. I pretty much described it as that. But I wanted to give a very realistic comparison between Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk. And so I did a playthrough as where I focused on signs, just because I'd never done that before. And I will be honest, I could spot a bunch of flaws in The Witcher 3 now that I probably wouldn't have spotted then. And there's a ton of things where I looked at it and thought, oh yeah, no, Cyberpunk just did that so much better. Oh, so much better. Yeah, I think CDPR have been going from strength to strength. Yes, the release of Cyberpunk was flawed. Less because of, the things I criticized them for were important to me, but they weren't catastrophically bad. They were things where I would have said, you know what, you should have spent another 6 months to a year kind of, playtesting this, getting some other feedback, doing what you did with Witcher 3. Now, the real problem with Cyberpunk was the fact that it just didn't work on the consoles that were basically everyone had at the time. And they pretty much sold it to people on those consoles. That was the big problem. See, that was their big lie. Yes, this works on last-gen consoles. That was just a total pile of dog crap, according. I mean, I've seen all the reports from people, and they should have just come out with it and said, look, we wanted to release it on Xbox and PlayStation 4, but it works like ass, so we're not going to. If they'd have done that, people would have screamed at them. People would have screamed at them. They would have come out and they would have absolutely screamed at them. But I think that still would have been the right thing to do. I think that would have been the right thing to do, because the state it was in on consoles when they released was just unforgivable by the looks of things. I saw loads of videos about it, and I'm like, we are just not playing the same game. I'm watching people playing on the Xbox. I'm seeing all these bugs, and I'm seeing the graphics, and I'm seeing the whole thing, and I'm like, this is just catastrophically bad. And I'm playing it on my top-end PC at the time, and I'm having a right old time, and I'm feeling guilty because I don't even want to admit it. So that was the big problem. They should have been honest with people and said, yeah, we wanted to release it now on all platforms, but best we could do is release it on PC. And even then, you probably should have spent another 6 months. Go see my video on complaints about Cyberpunk if you want to know the problems I had with it. All right. What was the last game you bought that was a physical copy for PC? Well, the last game that was bought for me was Fallout 3. And that was bought 7 months ago by my son. And he bought it. Oh, it's not for PC. That's for Xbox. Yeah. And he just bought it because he wanted me to have it on my shelf. Bless him. The last game that I bought a physical copy of and bought. Because I have had I got gifted. That was PlayStation 4 or 5 version of one game, but that was because they just sent it to me. Bought them. So what was the last one I bought? Oh, I don't know. Honestly, I think the last one that, as in physical copy, store-bought, was actually bought for me by my girlfriend, my current girlfriend, who we'd only just been seeing each other a little while, and for my birthday, she bought me physical copies of Counter-Strike, Blue Shift. She also bought me a flashlight, torch, as we call them. That's when I knew I had a good girlfriend. Got my hands right there. So that was a long time ago, though, guys. That was like 2001. Long time ago. You live in Scandinavian country, yes. If so, how close to real are the Skyrim names? Oh, some of them are reasonably real. It's just nobody in Skyrim pronounces them correctly. Windhelm would be Vinhelm. Iverstead would be Iversted. Helgen would be Helgen. So that's okay. Riften would be Riften. But there's all sorts of ones. You've got like you got loads of got something like Volshiga. And they're spelt correctly. They're spelt correctly, but nobody in game would pronounce it that way. But they don't pronounce the names. The leader of the Dark Brotherhood is Astrid. It should be Astrid. So, but they've used a lot, and I do mean a lot of Nordic-looking names for places and even for people, which is nice, actually, which is pretty good. So, yeah. You've played Deus Ex Human Revolution and Deus Ex Mankind Divided. That's the last two games I played as me games. Thank you, Snake Doctor. Do you prefer small semi-open world games like those or fully open world like Red Dead Redemption 2? Yes. Again, I'm very broad taste. It depends on how the open world game is done. I mean, open world for open world's sake is just crap. Red Dead Redemption 2 did open world correctly, but then so did Skyrim. Deus Ex Human Revolution, Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I played those again, but I did so for a reason. I think I did so I was planning on making a video about them, and then I just got derailed. I can't remember what that was for. I think it was before Phantom Liberty came out. And I may have even recorded some footage for it. I had a video idea. Oh, I think I remember. What it was, right, I'd started playing Deus Ex Human Revolution just because I got nostalgia. But I got about 2 or 3 hours into it, and I got into the first area and realized how absolutely crap the map was. And then I looked up the year it was made, and it was something right about the time that Skyrim was made. And I wanted to make a video where I basically praised Skyrim and the job that Bethesda had done on creating that world by highlighting it to another game that I utterly loved that sucked when it came to a world. That's what the idea was. Oh, it got completely derailed with it, though. And I still like those two games, by the way. If Witcher 4, Elder Scrolls 6, and Larian Studios' next game are released on the same year, do you consider create copies of yourself to play them at launch? Yeah. I mean, look, here's the thing. If those three all came out, Elder Scrolls 6 would take priority. Not because I think it'll be the best of the three games, because that is the game that is going to be most likely to be modded, and that's really something I'm looking forward to. It's what I was looking forward to in Starfield, and I was I was very, very disappointed to see that the community is doing stuff, but it's just isn't taken off. People just aren't as interested in it. So I'm really hoping we get that, because I love being part of that kind of process, especially when a game first comes out and people are just cranking out those mods. Love them. If we are able to upload ourselves into the net, would you just keep making vids? Probably. Nikki D, Gopher, after the Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough wraps up, do you have a set list of stream games lined up? No, I don't. If not, what are your thoughts on playing XCOM 2 again or the new Civ game? XCOM, I miss XCOM. I must admit, there's a little side of me would like to do something more like that. For stream games, I actually think I'd like to get games where I can bring you guys in. So yeah, the Civ game, maybe. Civilization, where I can, oh, what do you think I should do, guys? What should I do? We're not worried about spoilers and you know, because I'm not, you know, if you turn around, oh, don't use that weapon, that other weapon's way better. I'll be like, oh, all right, okay, you know, because it's a bit different. I'm micromanaging teams sort of thing. So yeah, honestly, I think I should probably play more games like XCOM and XCOM 2. I had a right blast playing XCOM. Was it XCOM 2? Was it XCOM 2 that I played? Or was it XCOM and then the Long War mod? Can't remember. But yeah, honestly, I think so. I think that's probably a good idea. Thank you, Nikki D. You know what? Let's put a pin in that one. Would you consider another Goat Sim stream? No. Oh, my son adores that game. I have been Goat Simmed out. What game do you have the most hours played on Steam? If it's not Skyrim, it'll be Left 4 Dead. Might be Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2. I don't know. See, I've got two accounts, you see. I've got two accounts. So I think it's Skyrim, though. Although, if you combine Skyrim and Skyrim 2, definitely. Mind you, I say this. I think I got like 4,000 hours on Warframe, and I don't know how many hours I had on Payday 2. I have got some games that I went nutty on. There's a new Warframe. Is it Warframe 1999? I've got to stay away from that game. I've got to stay away from games with microtransactions. Left 4 Dead 1 is one of your most played. Brilliant game, that. Absolutely. I loved Left 4 Dead 2 as well. I even played the new one that Back 4 Blood it was called, wasn't it? Yeah. But yeah. Okay, kind of random question, Gopher, but do you think Grand Theft Auto 6 can live up to the hype? It's 2025 or 2026 when it comes out. No, nothing ever lives up to the hype. Ever. Nothing ever lives up to the hype anymore. They either come out under the radar and everyone goes, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. Or they have hype and it's always a disappointment. Sorry if that sounds horribly negative, but that's how it is. If you see hype, it's going to be a disappointment. If you see everyone going, what's that? Oh, I don't think this is any good. There's a chance it might actually be amazing. When it comes out, and might it make Bethesda look bad when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out? No, not a chance. Grand Theft Auto is just not going to be a competitor for the Elder Scrolls. Just, they're not competitors at all. And people always like to compare games, but I always think that's a dangerous thing to do. Partly for the reason I highlighted earlier, why Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is such a great game and it's being so well received, in spite of it being pretty, you know, I mean, when you look at all of its individual parts, you're just thinking, okay, that's solid, that's okay. But it's the standout thing, the one thing it does well that makes it a great game. Well, the Elder Scrolls, the thing that made it a great game was this just desire to wander around and explore and wander over every mountain and go into every single dungeon. I suspect people who play Grand Theft Auto games that's not the same appeal. It's not the same thing. So even though you might compare games that come out the same year, it's probably bad to actually try to use one to bash or praise another. Unless they have the same thing. So, yeah, someone said Red Dead Redemption 2 was better than I expected, and I thought it would be a 10 out of 10. Well, this is the thing. Red Dead Redemption 2, I think a lot of people were expecting it to be Grand Theft Auto with cowboys. And unless Grand Theft Auto has changed in recent editions, Red Dead Redemption 2 was way more than that. And, you know, I mean, you could argue that Red Dead Redemption 2 coming out the same year as as The Elder Scrolls 6 might, you know, Red Dead Redemption 3, sorry, could be one where people compare, because that was, for me, Red Dead Redemption 2 had the exact same effect. I just wanted to go everywhere. So, hello, Gopher. I wanted to thank you for all your years of YouTube videos. I've been watching since Dawnguard Skyrim. Been years. I really enjoy every roleplay. Always tune in. Is there a chance Jack will ever make a comeback? I don't think so, because there's not a lot for Jack to do now. He could finish the main quest, but I always felt like that was something Jack wouldn't necessarily even want to do. Picking a side, so to speak. If he was going to pick any side, it would probably be something like the NCR. And even then, he's just not that sort of, you know. And there's not really a lot left of that either. If you look where he is in the main quest, he's only like a few episodes away from finishing it. And apart from that, the only thing he hasn't done is the Lonesome Road DLC, which is absolutely the most god-awful DLC ever made for any game ever. And if I did do a Let's Play of that, it would be about 9 episodes long and would just be a complete mockery of that DLC. It would be Gopher in ultimate snark mode. So, yeah. The only way you would see more of Jack is if somehow I could get Jack and transport him to another Fallout game. You know, Jack wakes up in Fallout London or something, or Jack wakes up in the Commonwealth. But even then, you know, I think Jack's done. Jack had his moment. He had his story. His story was the Some Guy mods. It was the bounty mods, I think. It's inevitable that Stalker 2 will have some amazing mods. Do you think it might be better to postpone the Let's Play? I can hear the screaming now. And wait 6 months in the new year to play with or without mods. It would free up your schedule, lol. I don't know. I'm going to continue playing Stalker 2. That's the thing. So, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I'm up to episode 31 now. So I've done 3 episodes with the new patch, and it's definitely an improvement. I don't know. Maybe what I would do was take a pause at a certain point if I thought to myself, you know what, I'm just going to leave it now. I'll call that chapter 1, and I will return to it when it's had a few more patches and continue on or something. Maybe I would do that if to free up the schedule, so to speak. If I just said, you know what, I'm going to leave this playthrough here. I'm going to wait for some updates. But I'm in the second area garbage. And, oh no, I think I've just left the second area garbage. So maybe there'll just be a point where I think, yeah, this'll be a good chapter 1. Maybe if I get to episode 40, and then I'll think about putting it on hiatus until we get some more patches. I don't know. Do you find, having played so many newer games both on and off the internet, that loading screens are starting to feel out of place in 2024? Personally, I do, but curious on your view. Yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, you play a game like Cyberpunk and it has almost no loading screens, or it hides the ones that it does so well that you don't even notice them. And yeah, that just feels how it should be going. If you're talking about games like Skyrim, it doesn't bother me that they have loading screens, I will admit. But yeah, it would probably be better. I mean, if Elder Scrolls VI, if they could tweak their engine so that there were no loading screens, that would be a major... I tell you what, if Elder Scrolls VI was pretty much the same game as Elder Scrolls V, except slightly better graphics, lighting, slightly better animations, and a dialogue system that's a little better, like in Starfield, just something like that, but they eliminated load screens, to me, that would be a massive... That would be like, yeah, I'm loving playing this game. I'm loving wandering everywhere, but it's even better now because there's no load screens. This is a good step in the right direction. You know, this... I would say if Bethesda could pull that off, that would be amazing. Sure, can they pull it off with their existing engine? That's a whole different... I mean, they can. Everything's possible. People who say, oh, it's not possible with the current engine, they're not, strictly speaking, correct. It just might be a little tougher with it. So, it would be nice. Starfield was a special case, though. Starfield was a special case. It just had too many loading screens because of the way space travel worked. It was god-awful. God-awful. Gopher, have you ever played RTS games like Total War games? Do you have any fun? I've been playing RTS games since RTS games came out, but I haven't played any for a while. I played Dune 2, which is the OG. Dune 2 is the OG RTS game. I played Command & Conquer, which was one of the really early ones, straight after Dune 2. I played things like Warcraft. There was a few others. There was a few others in that era where things came out. I played quite a few. I've not played any for a long, long time. I say Dune 2 was the original RTS game. There were others. I played some on even things like the Dragon 32, where I was like World War II game where you're moving tanks and things around on a board. But Dune 2 was the first RTS game of what we now almost think of as the modern RTS game. It kind of, I think it changed the gameplay a little, or there's something about the way Dune 2 did it that every single RTS game since seems to have copied. You heard Doom 2. No, Dune 2. Dune 2. There was a Dune 1, which I believe was an RTS game. I may be wrong, but it was completely different. It wasn't as good. It wasn't the same. I remember not really enjoying it, but I loved Dune 2. And that formula has gone on to be the standard formula for RTS games. We want go for an ultimate snark mode or we riot. By the way, what's your favorite Jack quote of all time? It's got to be the I don't need a personality, I've got a shotgun, which is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I mean, it really is. Which video game that you played made you really reflect about your experience, connect with the characters, maybe reflect about life? Oh, Red Dead Redemption 2. That was really, that was such a deep experience. But there's been a few, I guess, that just a lot of them grab me in the feels, I think, but don't necessarily make me reflect on life and humanity the way that Red Dead Redemption 2 did. That was absolutely phenomenal game. It's just absolutely phenomenal game. Red Dead Redemption 2 is the game that I always want to go back to and play up to Chapter 3. Anyone who's played the game knows exactly what I'm saying. You've played through Skyrim and now Starfield. Are you optimistic about TES VI factions given how the factions were done in Starfield? Yes and no. Yes and no. I preferred Starfield's factions and the faction main quests to the ones in Fallout 4. But that was mostly because the factions in Fallout 4 were all absolutely wrapped up with the main quest. They were all wrapped up with the main quest. So they didn't really feel like, you know, like in Skyrim and even Starfield, the factions are side stuff. In Fallout 4, they're not. They're main quest stuff. So, but honestly, I loved the United Colonies quest line. I quite liked the Crimson Fleet one. The Ryujin one is okay. The Ranger one, the 3-star Ranger one was okay. They weren't brilliant quests, really. But they were okay. I think they did way better on the United Colonies one, though. But I liked the way they did I liked them having a major faction quest. I think I would have liked something a bit more like Fallout New Vegas factions as well, though. Just, you know, some sort of reputation system, maybe. But that's probably asking a bit too much. Do you think that a tracking map for games when moving around maps in games like Skyrim instead of loading screens is programmable? Not sure what that means. You mean... I'm not completely sure what you mean. Oh, you were thinking instead of like fast travel. If you're talking about fast travel loading screens, so you get almost something like Indiana Jones and the red line moving across the map, that's probably doable, yeah. Where would you like TES VI to be set if it were your choice? Honestly, I just don't care. I really don't care. We could go back to somewhere I've already seen. We could go somewhere new. I'm so neutral on that one. It's just, yeah. They could make TES VI back in Skyrim, and I wouldn't care. I know a lot of other people would riot, but I wouldn't care. As long as that map is something I want to explore. I mean, like, you could say, well, you've already done Skyrim. Wouldn't it be boring to explore it? No, because they'd probably be doing it like 50 years or 60 years later. And if anything, I'd be running around going, oh, has this changed? I'd be like a tourist. Prediction. I don't think it's going to be Skyrim, by the way. Pretty sure we know where it's going to be. It's the Hammerfell, and isn't it close to the border between the Breton and Redguard homelands, I believe. Predictions for the World Drivers' Champion and Constructors' Champion 2025. World Drivers' Champion. Ooh. Don't know. I'd say there's a good chance it could still be Max. It's all going to depend on whether or not we get... It's really going to depend. It's too close at the moment. That's the thing. It is too close. Ferrari are right up there in the mix. McLaren are right up there in the mix. You've got Hamilton and Leclerc at Ferrari. You've got Norris and Piastri at McLaren. So that's 4 great drivers in teams that are probably going to be knocking at the door. And then Red Bull, I mean, I'm expecting them to be back on top again, or at least close up there. So you got Max and whoever's with him. They've announced someone, though, haven't they? I think they've announced someone in the second seat. But I've got a feeling they've picked someone who will not challenge Max. So I think it'll be a 1-driver race in that team. But so 3 teams, 5 drivers. Yeah. Couldn't pick it at the moment. Wouldn't want to even try. Do you think they'll keep the Thalmor in TES VI? Maybe. I mean, there's a good storyline there, isn't there? Maybe. Is there any video game that you played that was set where you actually wanted to visit in real life? For example, the Metro series. Oh, you mean like, would I have liked to have visited Russia? Yeah, not necessarily the subway system, though. I missed one. I will go back up, and then I will go back up. Any video games that played set where you would actually want to visit in real life? Probably not so much, though. I'm not a natural tourist. In games, I am. In real life? Okay, let's have a look. Gopher, any favorite building system in a video game? I don't know. I quite liked Fallout 4's building system, to be honest. I did. Kind of got a kick out of it, enjoyed it, and utterly loved it with Sim Settlements 2. I mean, if we're allowed to have modded, Sim Settlements 2. It's phenomenal. And I think I'm going to call it, guys, because it's now actually been 2 hours. I was planning on doing this for an hour. So, Xander, Lewis Hamilton, call me crazy. You're not crazy. It's a definite possibility. It's a definite possibility. I'm just not. Follow-up question. Do you think the Empire will have fallen by Elder Scrolls 6? Again, don't know. Don't know what the law's going to be. Don't know what the law's going to be. And I will answer that one, Snake Doctor. Have we seen the last of Cyberpunk 2077 on the channel? Yes. I know CDPR are continuing to update the game. If they added a whole new DLC, would I think about it? I might, but it's not going to be popular on the channel. Also, I don't think I would want to do a full playthrough, so I'd have to find a way to bring back the character I did the Phantom Liberty with on the Let's Play, which I suppose I mean, that's the problem. You can't carry on playing after you've finished the game. So, but anyway, ladies and gents, sorry to rush now. I've got to go off and check on my family. 2 of the kids are going tomorrow, and they're getting up in 6 hours. So I've got to make sure they're in bed and get everything right. I really do. Sorry, guys. I didn't want to rush. Thank you very much. I want to thank everyone. Oh, who have we got there? We got G-Swine resubbing over on Twitch. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank all the subs on Twitch, all of the members on YouTube, all of the people cheering, super chatting, and of course, I do want to thank the patrons who support me on patreon.com. You guys all together, you make this really possible. Okay, before you go, here's a Christmas card for you from the Minions. Thank you. We got a Minion with the Steve helmet on. You guys, you make this possible. It would not be possible without you, period. That's it. End of story. So, big thank you to all of you. If you're a patron and you're listening, but you didn't manage to get connected on the Discord, we got the Discord channel for patrons. Contact one of the moderators. They will then give you an instruction or a link that I should probably know off by heart and tell you where to go. Or at the very least, I think that they should be able to check if you should have access. I do check the patron channel reasonably often, so get on there. But other than that, thank you very much for another year making this possible. Thank you for making it fun, all of you. And I hope you all have a really, really great Christmas and an amazing new year. I will probably not be streaming again until after the new year, as far as I know. So it's going to be January. So this is the last you'll see me live, although there will be videos every day during the holidays. So there is stuff there. So once again, thank you very much. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.